And that's it. That's the song. So, nothing different necessarily on the musical or the melodic end, but we get some additional lyrics to look at. And so the last lyrics are, he says, I write for me and nail on my head. I read for me when I'm dead. Unto the road, the golden way, eternal light, prophecy. So that prophecy was added. That wasn't on the first post-chorus, which I think is interesting because it kind of retextualizes the song a little bit, and especially given these last few lines. So these last lines are, they do believe in life we breathe, eyes of the world all vanishing, eyes of the world all vanishing, a silent mind in truth appear, think from the end, and then the song just like shuts down. Boo, right? So what does all this mean? I think it's a little bit ambiguous, but I think it's kind of revealed a bit with the last two, where it says, a silent mind in truth appear, think from the end. So if we just start there, my interpretation of this is that it is recontextualizing this song as just a story about technology destroying us and all that shit, versus it's actually a cautionary tale about self-restraint and ambition and all of that for our species. And so he's saying, like, a silent mind in truth appear. He's telling us, like, he's saying to calm your mind, separate from all of this craziness, learn to be peaceful, and that's when you'll learn the truth. And then that, like, think from the end, that is kind of like, okay, basically that's just saying take a wider scope of what you're looking at, think about your whole life, think about everything and what you're going to do and what you're not going to do, and or what you don't want to do, right? Like, think about your life from the end and just have a broader view, and not just for your personal life, but for humanity. Like, we should all take a more holistic look at our species and the decisions that we make and what we do in order to prevent ourselves from going down this path, which is why I like that line prophecy, because I think he throws that in there to sort of, again, recontextualize this song, not as just like some crazy fictional story he's telling, but as a prophecy and a warning about what can happen if we do not change what we're doing. If we don't have some type of self-restraint and we're not careful about the technology that we develop. And I think it's very pertinent. I mean, right now when you've got, Grok and Claude and ChatGPT all, running our lives at this point, it's important. It's important to think about what we're doing. So yeah, I think it's a really cool way to recontextualize the song and make it less of just like a cool sci-fi story and more of like, hey, this is actually this is something real. Like, we're talking about something real here. And it's important to, when you're listening to music, right? I think that's something that we miss, and this is a similar thing to the comments I made about the mix, right? Is that songs and art are supposed to be real. They're supposed to apply to us in the real world, even if it is a fictional story. That's kind of the point of art. And so, like, is that you're supposed to be able to take something from it, like a lesson that'll improve your life and make you better in the end. I think a lot of music today is basically just relegated to emotional catharsis, or like we use it to just emotionally manipulate ourselves, but that's a topic for another day. Essentially though, he's just saying this is not just a fictional fun story. This is actually like a real thing. And like, you should think about it. And I kind of love it. I think it's great. And now that we're at the end of the song, I can say, I think these are like really, really fantastic lyrics. Some of the more thought-provoking lyrics that M Shadows has put out. And I think that, it's almost tough or it's easy to miss them and not understand them unless you actually read them and dive in the way that I did, which is why I like doing this. Is why I do it, because after I did my analysis, when I first heard this song, I was really a bit underwhelmed. I actually didn't like it straight up. And I think that's most people's reaction, but Avenged is my favorite band and I know they do things for a reason. So I was like, all right, let's just give it some time. And it kind of clicked for me actually at the gym, like 2 or 3 days later. I was listening to it while I was bench pressing, and it was like, oh, okay, like, okay, this is a pretty cool song. And I was vibing with it, but I didn't really think much about it. And then when I was taking my notes for this episode and I was really looking into the lyrics and reading about the lyrics, I was like, damn, like these are actually really cool lyrics, like really cool lyrics, a whole lot of depth here. Um, as I've gone through, as if you've made it to the end of this episode, and so yeah, I think there's a lot to unpack. And the thing is, I mean, I could be totally off base on some of this stuff too. I mean, if you have your own interpretation, leave a like and a comment down below, but like, you get what I mean. There's these lyrics are really cool, a lot to think about if you dive into them. And honestly, when I went through Reddit, one of the reasons why I just kind of wanted to talk about my own interpretation was that when I went through Reddit and I was looking at them, I mean, everyone on Reddit had a whole different view of these lyrics. Some people thought it was about Jimmy for some reason. I don't see that, but like, it's cool that people will listen to it and it'll just appeal to them in so many different ways. While still, I think, maintaining it. I don't feel like this song is so ambiguous that anyone can just adopt it to their own life or whatever. The way that like pop music does, pop music always writes about like ambiguous love. Like, I fought for you, but you weren't there. It's like that could mean like 10,000 fucking things. And pop music does that all the time so that they can appeal to as many people as possible. This song is absolutely not doing that. There was clearly an artistic vision here that they were going for. And I think that lyrically they did a great job with it.